In between of whether I should do a live or not, and just doing a live would be like so much better, but I opted for just recording. And the big problem is that recording you need time away from it. Like you can't keep doing it. Like it's really stressful. Um like it's a job essentially, and when you do a job, like you're mainly distracted from everything else that needs to be done. And I'm just trying my best to like hold on to everything that I'm doing because there's stuff that I want to record. So I was just BETing, and I just won. I literally won. And there was a little trick to it that there was a problem with it that I figured out finally after a couple of a couple of days just hammering at it. And I'm just sitting here like, that's how you win? Is that how you win? Like that's crazy. Like the way that you have to win in Bally Bet, it's should I just keep it a secret? Should I just like not even say anything and just like, because there's definitely a limit. You know what I mean? There's definitely a limit to how much you can win. But as for right now, I I did a pretty good job of winning. Um, and I think I just have like one more test to check out on it, because that's what I'm doing. I'm testing the app. I'm just making sure that I'm doing everything correctly, because I went in there balls to the wall and I had my strategy down and I was doing this, doing that, and it turned out I was doing the wrong strategy. It doesn't work for that platform, and I'm just not sure what that means. It's like, am I gonna win every single time now? Is that how it's going to work? Because I got like three blackjacks in a row when the dealer was getting like three blackjacks in a row. Like he's sitting there getting, I'm getting 20, he's getting 21, and I'm sitting here like, yo, this is bull. This is bull, bro. Like I was so pissed off. I was like, yo, this game is fake. Like, how are you supposed to win anything from this? How are you supposed to make any type of money from this? And it was just patience on out. And I would like to explain to so many people, it's like, if you are doing something and it's not working out for you, you have to try patience. Patience is going to win out. And they're saying like, oh, you need a team to do this, you need a team to do that. And if you don't have a team, then you're not allocating your time correctly, you're not doing everything correctly, and because of that you're losing money. But what I'm saying is that you need to do this yourself. You need to figure out these things yourself, because you're the only one that can do it. And the guy refuted exactly what I said. He was like, this guy on Instagram, he was like, you're gonna think that you're the only one that can do the best work. But that's the difference between you and Jeff Bezos. That's the difference between you and Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk knows that he needs a team, and he picks the best workers for whatever he's working on. And at first it seems correct. Like even I would, and when I was like 10 years old, 12 years old, even now still I'm sitting here like, yo, you need a team to do this. But then now I have it in my head where it's like, if you're saying you need a team, then you need to figure it out how to do it yourself. Because your team is going to come in and one person is doing one thing, the other person is doing the other thing, but they're not working on what they want to be working on. Like you can't create a passion for them. They have to learn what their passion is. They have to go out there and try out those different things. Because it could be like just like my dad, where he was working for Pathmark. He was working for Pathmark for years, years and years. He went and got his CDL license, and after he got his CDL license, he uh, he didn't drive anything. He got his CDL A license, CDL B. I I don't know how many extra ones is there. A, B, C, D. A, B. I know A is for like freight trucks, like those big 18 wheelers. B is for buses. So like if you go on campus and you see a person driving around in a bus, like it's that's part of what he does. That's the license that he has. A, B, C. C is for car. A, B, C, D. All I know, there's motorcycle, and that's about it. Now he went and got his license, and he said that his English is not good whatsoever. And he said that he went to do the test over and over and over again, just kept doing it, just kept doing it until he finally got it. And then when he got it, guess what he did? Absolutely nothing. He did absolutely nothing with how much he was making. I mean, with his license. And that's the saddest part. Like, looking at a person like that, that's the saddest thing ever. And you know what happened? Eventually, Pathmark went out of business during the Great Depression or Recession, one of those two. Uh, and after the Great Recession, my dad was out of work because Pathmark closed down. And he's sitting here, he's crying. He's like, he has absolutely no idea what to do. He's like, we can't keep the house. Like, we need this job. And then he's like, oh, I have a CDL license. How about I go in and try to get a job at a bus company? And he goes and he finds a job at a bus company. And then he starts getting paid the most he's ever gotten paid in his life. And by this time, he's like, I think this happened when he was in his 50s, late 50s. Like he was like 55 or something like that. It was pretty late in the game for this to happen to him. And after Pathmark closed down, he's looking for a job, gets a job at a bus company, starts getting paid so much more money than he's been getting paid. So he's been getting paid $15 an hour at he's been getting paid $15 an hour at what's it called? Pathmark. After the $15 an hour, he went to the bus company. He started, I think they started him out somewhere at $25, $26. He's been working at Pathmark for damn near 20, 25 years. Like he's worked there for a really long time. And the most he's gotten paid is $15 an hour. And then when he went to the bus company, they started him off at 25. $10 bump up from what he's been getting paid. Now this dude is just making money. He's just making money. And he's just like so happy. He's like, yo, bro. And he takes extra shifts sometimes. Because as a bus driver, you only get to work part-time. Because, you know, kids only go to school and come out of school for a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? So it's like 6 hours a day, you know, 3 hours, prep the bus, drive out to the pickup location, drop off, and then you have a break in the middle. And he's an old man. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, for a person that knows only working, he only knows how to work. For him to have a 3 hour, 4 hour break in between shifts must be amazing. Like that's like the best thing that you can do for him. It kind of sucks because for me that would suck. I would be like, yo, I can't be a bus driver for kids. Absolutely not. First off, they're kids, and second off, like that break in the middle is just so long, and it takes so much time out of your day. And I would rather just be like, yo, bro, just F the break. Like, let me just work straight through. But everybody needs to know this. You need to take a break. That comes to my second conversation here. Taking breaks is absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. And people, the thing about breaks is that you don't know how long a break needs to be for you, because that's the biggest threat right there. It's just like, how long is a break for you, and how are you going to keep thinking? So teachers have the opportunity to not have to work for the summertime, and there are teachers that work during that break, and there are teachers that relax during that break and they don't work and they just stay at home and they just enjoy their time off. You don't know how long your break is going to need to be for you to reset and really start thinking. It will take years, because for me personally, it's taken a good year, a break of a year, even longer. Like I haven't had like a real break for a really long time. Like I've had a break from the time I was 20, the time I was like 20 years old till like 22. And then I started going back to work again. So what am I talking about? A year, bro, that was years. Like I was 20, I stopped working, and then I turned 21. That was about like 6 months. I turned 21, that was like 6 months later. And at 6 months after that, I couldn't get a job. I was constantly trying to look for a job. But what people don't understand is that you need to be financially stable when you're on these breaks. That's the biggest, I think that's the loophole in the contract that everybody has to figure out. Because they're like, yeah, you can take breaks. There's jobs that you can take breaks. If you're listening to me, you're like, Abram says, take breaks. Like, how am I going to be able to take a break and think a little bit? Because my boy Ryan, he now he's basically like a supervisor now. And what he does is, now that he is a supervisor, he works less hours and makes just a little bit more than he's been making before. Maybe the pay increase was like $10,000. He's making above 150. And I'm very proud of him for the way that things go and the way that life is. I'm very proud of him, which should say I should be proud of May too, because the way that she's taking things. It's just that I see her in a spiral and it's really not good, but whatever. So Ryan does less time, gets paid a little bit more. May doesn't work whatsoever. But that's the thing, like, you have to be financially stable, because then that's when you start exploring. And that's what these people don't want you to do. They don't want you to explore. Like, that is, what else are we supposed to do, bro? Everybody watches anime, and you know what they do. They sit there, they buy up equipment, and then they go into caves and they start wrecking shit. Like, adventuring and venturing off and doing different things and thinking different things. And that's what people are scared of to do. They don't want to think anything different, because they're like, if I start thinking different, I might start doing drugs. It's like, okay, great. Maybe you should try to do drugs. You know, you have all these people that are telling us no, 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 when in reality, we should be running right towards it. I'm filling out a receipt for this job that was done a little bit ago. Oh, I just thought of, so I was thinking, I was like, how am I going to make it to Elizabeth? Because that's going to be difficult to get an Uber to the train station, then ride to Elizabeth, get off the train, and then have to walk to the house in Elizabeth and do that. So I just thought to myself, because I want to do Grubhub. I'm thinking about doing Grubhub, guys. All right. This is where you would hear clapping sounds. I'm thinking about doing Grubhub. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do it because, regardless, it's still a little bit difficult to do. If I do Grubhub, what I was going to do was ride my bike to the train station, take my bike all the way to the train station, all the way to New York, get off New York train station. But the problem is, it's like I've never seen a I didn't know my music was playing so loud. Hopefully that doesn't copyright over, bro. But I've never seen a person get off the train and enter into New York City. I've never seen a person do that. So I'm just a little bit hesitant about it. I even asked May, and she's like, yeah, they have bikes all the time. And I do see the bikes. I do see them. I go on the train all the time. So I do see bicycles. But how do they get them out of the station? It's just a question of that. And they don't allow them for peak hours. So 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., you can't ride a bike on the train. And then from like 5 p.m. to like 8 p.m., you're not allowed to go on the train with your bike again. And that's like a little daunting because it's like, all right, if I wake up at 10 and I ride my bike to the train station, I get on at 10:30, and then from the 10:30 I'll get to the New York at 11:30. I'll work for 11:30, so I'll start at around 12 o'clock, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I zip to the train station by 4 and get on the train by 4:30. It's a little bit hectic. And the thing is, like, if I do miss my opportunity to get on the train, that would be a problem. That would be a serious problem. But then all I would have to do is just keep working. You know what I mean? Just stay in the city and just keep working. I'm not going to work during winter times, but they have a 3 month inactivity thing with their app. So for 3 months, if you don't do anything for 3 months, they deactivate your account, and then you have to reactivate it, you know, going back to do it again. I'm trying to write this receipt out because you need receipts when you run a business, bro. That's when I was going crazy, bro. This I was thinking the whole time. I was like, yo, businesses need receipts, bro. Like you need to be able to write out a receipt for whatever you do. So I was dealing with weed, and I was talking to this weed dealer, and I was like, yo, bro, Dylan, yo, we need to start giving out receipts for our stuff. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? He's like, I'm not giving out receipts. This shit's illegal. And I was just like, bro, you need receipts, bro. That shit was just stuck in my head because I was thinking to myself, it was like, if you start doing it properly, maybe you'll get some type of respect out of it. But, if you do write receipts for what you're doing, it creates a paper trail. And that's what I feel like the police are destroying. They destroy paper trails. And what makes a human human? It's a paper trail because they do stuff with those receipts. And if you don't have those receipts, what are you doing? You're not tracking anything. You're not using your computer. That's the biggest thing. It gets you to not use this pen. You can't use this book. Like you're missing a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, I get it. It's a system. It's a system. You know what I mean? Like you have these people that are working off the books because what they're doing is illegal. And it's like you're erasing their history. You're just erasing their history. You're just looking at them like, you're not doing anything. I don't see you doing anything. Because that's what big businesses start off with. They have all of these paper trails. And people need to know how important that is. That is very important. If you can't make a paper trail, then you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're getting paranoid, like paranoia is a real thing, but you need that paranoia more than you think. Like there's people that are like, paranoia is bad. Paranoia is bad. If you're paranoid, you shouldn't be doing this. And why do people get paranoid? It's because they shouldn't be doing something. Like if they get paranoid on weed, it's because they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing. They're underage. They are doing it in a car and they're about to drive. They're doing it in the house and their parents don't like it. The parents could call the police and the police could come. And, the police are now like a little bit hands off. They're like, yo, we can't arrest you for having weed, but you do realize that you can't do it in this house. Like that's what the police told me. A little after weed was legalized, they were like, yo, look, listen, bro, if you can do weed all you want, but you can't do it where people are telling you not to do it. You can't do it in this house. If your parents are saying no, then you can't do it in this house. But we can't arrest you for having weed or anything like that because it's legal now. As long as you don't have pounds and pounds, as long as you're not over the limit, you know what I mean? My room got smaller, guys. My room got smaller because I'm unable to use, oh crud. I'm unable to use my bed properly. My Murphy bed. It broke. It broke already. I've had it for like 6 months and it's broken. I could lift it up still. Oh my gosh, you know what? I didn't even. Oh, I did copy it. My job is to copy receipts and to file them away. I'm a bookkeeper. I fought for my right. You know, that's what you got to understand in this world. Like, all you really need, truly, all you really need is a associate's degree. Because get anything else and you start going over your head, bro. I'll tell you that right now. An associate's degree gives me enough power to demand certain things. And you don't realize that you're demanding things when you get a degree. You're demanding things that you shouldn't be getting your nose in. Like, you're sitting there like, I want more responsibility. And in reality, you're like, bro, I don't want more responsibility. Do you realize how much stuff I have to go through? Do you realize how real this world is? Like, the world that they show us on television, what artists do and celebrities do, like, that's because they're bored, bro. They're really bored. They have nothing else to do. That's why they have the gala, the Grammys, all these different things. Because essentially they're bored. They have nothing better to do. And you're sitting there following them. You're like, oh, this is great. You're bored too. All right? That's all I got to say. It's taken me 30 minutes just to write out this receipt. This is what I'm talking about, bro. I wonder if I should make 2 receipts, one for 2,000 and the other one for so I'm going to put this one for 2,000. Provided for the above work was completed in a substantial workmanlike manner for the agreed sum of. So this one's going to be 2,000. Yo, so that guy, that cowboy dude that was sitting there, he was like, you need to learn how to build a team. I'm telling you, Like, look at Sophie Rain. I These are the only people that I see in front of me, bro. There's nobody else in front of me. Nobody else talks about like what they do and what goes on in their life. But Sophie Rain, she was doing a podcast and she was like, I don't know, they asked her how much does she literally make? Like how much does she get to touch and use whenever she wants to? And she said a number and the guy was like, that doesn't make sense. And she's like, I don't know, this is how much the guy is giving me. This is how much they do it for. He's like, you got somebody else doing this for you? And she's like, yeah, yeah. And they're like, yo, you're getting gypped. Like they're doing something wrong, dude. Like you should be touching way more money than this. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. And she is just not financially literate. She just makes money. She hired a couple of people, probably people that her family told her about, people that her friends told her about, and just allowed them to work her finances for her. And my boy Ryan, he was telling me, he was like, I was telling him about how my sister is doing her taxes and she owes money on her taxes. Like she doesn't owe a huge amount, but basically she works two jobs. She works as a teacher and she works at Costco. And at Costco, you get paid hourly, whatever. She, after she does her taxes, she owes like $500 or something like that. And I've told her, I was like, why don't you work for Instacart if you really want to do something? Like, if you really have to do it, work Instacart. She's like, no, no. When I did Instacart, they taxed my tips. And they taxed my tips really, really hard. My first, when I heard that story, I was just like, bro, you're working too much. Like, that's the problem. How are you working to pay money back? That's just dumb. That's just dumb. If you see a person working two jobs and they're owing money back on taxes, there's something wrong there. But she's a teacher, and for some reason, the fact that she works two jobs, it means that she doesn't get anything back in her tax returns. I don't know how they're doing that contract for her teacher's contract, but they must be doing something that doesn't allow her to, you know, collect on taxes. Like they're doing something where they're evening it out between the two. So she's probably paying taxes for the first half of the year, and the second half of the year she's not paying any taxes. And because of that, she owes taxes when she works that second job. So she owes a little bit of money. And I'm just sitting here like, bro, that's just dumb. Why are you working two jobs? You don't need to work two jobs. She's like, I get bored. I don't want to sit at home and do nothing and sleep. I was like, you're depressed. No offense, but you're depressed. Uh, yeah, but like, I was sitting there, I was like, this is not working out for you in a good way. You're working two jobs. You should be making, for the way I was doing taxes, bro, you should be getting back like $2,000-3,000. You know what I mean? Like that's how much you should be making back. My boy Ryan was doing his taxes and he made like oh whoops. What did he make? He didn't file his taxes for a few years. And when he filed it, it turned out that he owed money. So he's doing his taxes by himself. He's using TurboTax, and TurboTax says that he owes like, let's just say $2,000. He owes like $2,000. So he was like, no, screw this. So he went to a tax preparer, and the guy does his taxes. He still owes $2,000, but now he found other ways for him to get money back from the taxes. Like, I don't know, there's state and federal, and then he something like that. You know what I mean? Like he basically the guy did the magic, and he basically got some money back on top of what he owed, so he doesn't owe that much anymore. So now a big chunk of it is gone. And my argument will be that you should still be doing your own taxes. Like that's great for Ryan. That's great that he got maybe $1,000 off. Maybe it was 500. Maybe it was 500. And he's saying, he's like, yo, don't ever do taxes yourself. And I wouldn't go around saying that. I would say personally, do the taxes yourself, because one day you're going to run into the same problem when you're making millions of dollars. This is why people don't get to move up in life. This is a big reason why people don't get to move up in life, because you make $1 million, you hire some jack in the box to do your taxes. Next thing you know, they're stealing money. They're not filing it. Like that's what happened to my parents. Like this person didn't file their taxes. Like it came back, the IRS rejected it and said that you need to do it again, and he didn't do it, and they didn't pay taxes for that year. Like there's so many things that goes wrong when you get other people to do it. There's so many horror stories where it's just like people are scared because they're like, nobody's telling me to do my own taxes. Everybody's telling me to get somebody. If that person doesn't do it well, go to this person. If this person doesn't do it well, go to another person. Nobody sits down and says like, no, you should be doing those taxes yourself. You need to find out how that person is getting all those extra benefits in your taxes, and then go home and then do it yourself. That's how you do it. If he's doing some magic and he's getting an extra $500 here, an extra $500 there, your tax return is coming back like quadruple the amount, because Ryan was doing it correctly. He was like, yo, I owe 2,000 when I did it myself. Then I went to the guy, I still owe 2,000. So that is the big break in the story. It's like, so nothing really changed. You still owe 2,000. It's like, yeah, I owe 2,000, but he found other tax deductions that allowed me to cut down that thing that I wasn't doing. And it's like, all right, dude, what you need to do is you need to find out what exactly he did that allowed him to do all that. And then you need to go back and do it yourself. Because he's going to keep doing that for you. And what if he's doing it illegally? Like, what if he's cutting corners like that he shouldn't be cutting? Because there are people out there that will do that. I mean, they get a flat fee. You know, you just pay them $200 and that's it. But like, think about that. You pay him $200 a year to do your taxes. Where's the other money coming from? How's this dude making a living? Like, what else does he do? Is he a lawyer? He's not a lawyer. He's an accountant. He does taxes, and there's only tax season. What are they doing on their free time? That's my question right now. I don't know what they do on their free time. What are you doing on your free time? So that's one check. I mean, that's one receipt done. Now I need a second receipt. So that was 2,000. The date for this one was yesterday, April 26th. This is a full invoice due to the agreement. Whew. I'm writing receipts, bro. Writing receipts. I don't know, bro. I can't stress it enough, bro. You're going to have to do shit yourself. Like, this whole I need a team, I need a team, I need a team needs to get out of here, bro. That's old. That needs to get done. Dunzo. I mean, you could think about it economically too. So you're sitting here paying, instead of paying one person to do the job right, you're paying 5 people to do the same job. Where's all the money going? Do you not see where the money is going? Everybody sees where the money is going. Like, that money is just, you just created a black hole. That's what these people do, bro. They're like, yo, I got a talent, I got a talent. They got a talent, and then they're like, yo, I got a team, I got a team. And then it's like, yo, I'm paying you more money, I'm paying you more money. That money's getting split up in between y'all. And then we don't see it go anywhere because there's only one person that has a righteous heart, and that all 4 others don't give a damn about anything else. They're like, yo, screw this. This is my money. I'm gonna use it the way I want to use it. It's just that you don't know where your money is going. And then it comes to that idea. It's like, well, that means that you're paying one person to do what 5 people should be doing. And by paying that one person to do what 5 people should be doing, you're losing the opportunity to pay five people a good amount of money, and then they spread the wealth around like that. Instead of having just one person have the money, how about we have five people have the money? But what you don't see is that, yo, five people are still going to get the money regardless. Because, like, look at an author. What does an author have to do? An author has to write the book, and then they have to edit the book, then they have to market the book. You will eventually start paying someone to do these things. It's just like, but for me, this is how it works for me. It's like, if you have a website that can do these things for you and you don't need a person to do it, that is much better than getting another person to do it for you. And people are going to be like, yo, bro, that's like taking away jobs. No, you got to think about it differently, bro. You got to think about it differently. Because if I have the power to do it by myself, that means that five other people have the power to do it themselves as well. But if I'm the only one that can do it and I hire five other people to do it with me, now you have five people that don't really know what they're doing trying to do what you do. You know, it's like, I don't know, bro. But I'm excited. I want something. Bro, I gotta see if it works. I gotta see if it works. I'm telling you, bro, I got blackjack after blackjack. It was like T T T T T blackjack, T T T T T blackjack. I was like, yo. And I'm playing with real money this time. I'm actually wagering cash. And for the first time, I won a little bit. It's good to go in with a strategy. It's very good to go in with a strategy. Because if you go in with a strategy, whether you're right or wrong, if you're wrong, then you know you need to switch up your strategy. But if you just went in there willy-nilly and you didn't know what you were doing, bro, you'll go in there and you'll just be like, oh, I don't know what I did, but I'm winning now. And you don't know why you're winning. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem. So I think that I was reading a book, and that's where I got the idea from the book, where it's like, all right, so what you're going to do when you gamble, you're supposed to, like, say you have $1. So you're going to bet $1 first. And if you win the second bet, you're going to add $1 to that. And if you win that bet, you add another $1 to that. And if you win again, you drop back down. Whether you win or lose, you drop back down to your original bet. And that's what I was doing. And I couldn't even win. I couldn't win, bro. I was losing so badly. So badly. But I've heard people do this as a job. But I'm going at it way differently. I'm going at it way differently. I have my own way of doing things, and it usually doesn't steer me wrong. So we're going to see how that works out. It's 6 o'clock. I just wanted to record something real quick. Nothing real serious. I actually have a bunch of stuff to do. And like I was saying, you have to take breaks. You have to take breaks. But you need to make sure that those breaks are financially secure. I don't know how else to put it, bro. Because it's like if you can uh invest, and your investments turn out to make you $5,000, and you can take a break for 3 months off that $5,000. Like for example, if I was working for Instacart and Uber right now, right? I know it's much easier. I would work for Instacart and I would make $10,000. That should take you $10,000. You can make, if you killed yourself, you can make $1,000 a week. But let's not do that. Let's not do that. Because you can make $200 a day. 200 times 5 equals 1,000. But to make $200 a day, if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to take you 12 hours if you don't know what you're doing. If you do know what you're doing, it's going to take you maybe 8 hours to hit that $200. But it solely depends on who is tipping at that point, who is doing those types of things. And you can't care about how big the order is, because there's some people that are, there's strategies. Go at it with a strategy, guys. Go at it with a strategy, and you'll figure stuff out much, much better. Much better. If you go at it all willy-nilly, bro, you don't know what you're doing, dude. You have absolutely no idea what you're doing. And that freaks you out more than just trying at it and winning. Because it's like when I was playing football. When I was playing football, dude, did I know what I was doing on defense? I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. No idea what I was doing. I didn't understand the plays. I didn't even want to play it. But I had the potential to be good. But the fact that I didn't want to play it set the tone for everything else. Because it's like, oh, if you don't want to play this position, then you're not going to be good because you're not interested in what they're saying. They're telling you to swing out right when we're on zone 3. And that was just going over my head, dude. Over my head. I was just like, zone 3? What are you talking about, bro? But then when they put me on offense, and on offense, you can't look dumb. Like, you have to know what you're doing. So when we practice offense, I understood what was going on. They were like, yo, power right. If you go to the left when they're saying power right, you're the idiot. You have to know what you're doing. So it's just like a wide receiver that doesn't know what they're doing. And they say, run a 3, and you're running a 5. You're running a hitch. You don't know what you're doing, dude. You have absolutely no idea what you're doing. But that's what I was on defense, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, dude. No idea. I was just like, I don't know, bro. I don't get it. I don't want to do it. Get me out of this, bro. Get me out of it. Maybe if I play bad, they'll get me out. But I was first string. I was always first string. I don't know why. But for offense, I understood why I was first string. Because I was getting yards, bro. Every time I touched the ball, we're moving forward. Every time I touch the ball, we're getting 5 yards. It's 5 times 4. We're getting 5 yards. We're guaranteed first down. Basically, when I'm on the field, it's guaranteed first down. Guaranteed first down. I'm just going to leave that there, bro. I was just that good. Guaranteed first down. And you're guaranteed to score with me. But then I quit, and it was bad. It was bad. I didn't mean to quit. I don't know what it was, but something just made me quit, and I couldn't do anything about it. Like I just had to. It was just like, yo, we're quitting. I was just like, all right, cool. We quit. I was avoiding coach. I felt so bad. Like it wasn't because of him or anything like that. It's just because I hated football. Like I hated it. I hated running around in the heat. I felt like a slave. I felt like a freaking slave. So whenever people ask me to go work out, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not working out with you. Like that shit's annoying. There's got to be a better way. And I did find a better way, but I can't do it, which sucks. Absolutely sucks. But regardless, I hated football. Hated that thing. Badly, bro. And a break, let me break down what a break means for you. A break doesn't mean going out with your girlfriend. A break doesn't mean going to dinner with your family. A break doesn't mean going to the gym with your friends. Those aren't breaks. Breaks are you and you alone in a secluded area. That's a break where you don't have to deal with anybody. That is a break. Because people do it all the time. They'll tell you, they're like, oh, if he's talking about a break, then let's go party. Going out to the club is not a break. It's not. You think that it is? People do business there. Like Drake goes to clubs to make deals. I don't know how. You must be distracted. Because we know we're through a club we're talking about, like strip club, dude. But that's how people with parallel powers are able to do things. And it's starting to look very dumb to me. It's starting to look very dumb to me. Because if you can do two things at once, you'll do the dumbest things at once. You'll just do dumb things. You'll just do really dumb things. So a parallel person has to learn how to work with one variable instead of two variables. But you can easily do those parallel things, like find something constructive to do. Like if you can read an audiobook and knit at the same time, then okay, that's proper parallelism. But if you're sitting there going to the club and writing an essay, you know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. That's not something that you should be doing. Yeah, yeah. Today was a boring day, but it was a good day. No, it was actually a really good day. I figured out something that I shouldn't have figured out. And they're probably going to change it up after this. They're probably going to change it up. Because now I'm winning too much money. I'm just making back what I lost, honestly. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. But darn it, I made a problem for myself. Now I'm not sure what I should do. Oh well, back to doing more research and getting busy, bro. All right, peace out, guys.